Welcome to another edition of Florida Newsmakers. I'm Tremel Gomes with our very special guest, Chuck Corley, the Secretary of the Florida Department of Elder Affairs. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tremel. Pleasure to be with you today.
Glad to have you. Let's get right to it. Florida's reputation is known around the country and the world as the one of the top places to go to retire. Is that still the case?
It really is. There was a time we were concerned, I think, in 2004 after that whole series of hurricanes and all, and I think it may have scared a lot of folks off or made them look at alternative areas. But a recent study that was done by a company called RealtyTrac identified the 15 most popular areas in the state for retirement, the 15 most popular cities, and 7 of those were in Florida. So I think we've returned.
And we're seeing a population boom.
And elders in proportion. Elders have always been a critical part of our state, not just in numbers, but in what they contribute to the state. And that continues to be the case in proportion as our overall population booms and we become the number 3 state in the nation.
As we move to that number 3 status, what challenges does this pose, our growing senior population, to our state government?
Well, the interesting thing is when you talk about government and the implications of seniors, perhaps the demands that seniors put on government and all, seniors really contribute a lot more than they use. We recently, in working with the Bureau of Business and Economic Research down at the University of Florida, asked them to take a look at that for us and kind of give us an idea of what that contribution is. And in net, seniors contribute $2,850 more per year than they consume in services. So the effect of seniors in our state is not only do they contribute to the economy through the services that they employ, through the purchases that they make. Seniors are homeowners at a rate far higher than any other segment of the population, but they also build roads, build schools with the excess tax funds.
When it comes to federal funding cuts from sequestration, what is the impact to Florida seniors?
I'm glad you brought that up. You hear a lot about sequestration and the impacts, but not necessarily how they affect seniors. About $5.6 million in the federal funds for services that we receive for home-based, community-based services to seniors were put at stake, were lost basically. What that equates to is almost 600,000 home-delivered meals to homebound seniors, for instance. So it's material, it's measurable, and it's something we've had to deal with. Probably our biggest contemporary issue that we're dealing with today.
Anything on the horizon to ease those cuts?
Well, we've worked with local organizations for ways to mitigate those cuts. Locally, for a while they froze their enrollments of new folks into those services that weren't absolutely critical. And but as the governor's Family First budget came out, we got some new money in that, and we were able to kind of start filling some of those voids with some of those new monies. So.
We will soon see the rollout of the big overhaul to Florida's Medicaid managed care program. What's your agency's role in helping to administer that program?
Well, there's obviously a lot of anxiety and concern as we move forward into enrolling all of our Medicaid-served clients into managed long-term care. The reality is that in Florida, we basically invented managed long-term care. We have been operating a program, the Long-Term Care Community Diversion Program, since 1992, in which we contract with managed care organizations throughout the state. It's been one of our most successful programs if you measure success in terms of our ability to keep seniors in the community, in their homes, out of nursing homes, as well as if you want to measure it by consumer satisfaction. It's a highly popular program, and so we're taking the lessons we've learned from operating that program since 1992, applying them as we move forward into statewide managed long-term care. We'll be employing some of the traditional parts of our aging services network, the Aging Disability Resource Center, in terms of educational efforts as we transition all of these folks, 80,000 something folks, into managed long-term care, and we'll be using them on an ongoing basis. These are the local entities, of which there are 11 throughout the state. So they're in the local communities. They'll be helping out with consumer complaints, consumer concerns, helping get folks directed in the right area to deal with those concerns going forward.
One of the major critics, the top criticism that we're hearing about this program is like, the transition without disruption of services. People are concerned about that. Like, what's being done to ensure that there won't be disruption of services to seniors?
Good question, and I understand those concerns, and we again have had to be concerned with that as folks transitioned heretofore into the program that already existed. So that's not a new phenomenon either, but the managed care organizations are required to maintain the existing plan of care until such time as they can go in and have case managers take a look and deal directly with the consumers on the needs and their preferences and that sort of thing. So there'll be a smooth transition, and hopefully the clients, the consumers, are going to see new opportunities in terms of providers that were never available to them before, perhaps some optional services that were not available to them under the existing programs and all. Our hope and our expectation is that the consumers are going to benefit in a very visible way as we go forward into this program.
Well, Secretary Corley, there's so much we can go into and talk about. We'll have to have you on back here on the program. Thank you so much for joining us.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Tremel.
And to our viewers, we'll catch you next time.